Got it.
Well, I guess I'll start it off again. Welcome back to another episode of the Uncensored Philadelphia Sports Podcast. Hopefully, you catching us live right now, and if later on, you can catch us. If not, well, if you're on live, you already know this. If you hear what I'm saying, but anytime anybody doesn't catch us live, you can catch us on Facebook, iTunes, Twitter. I know I'm missing something now. Twitter, Facebook, iTunes,
iTunes.
yeah, all those things.
Yeah.
But and YouTube. But Sixers again, close but no cigar. This is kind of what happens when you don't have your superstar. You have other players that come in and they play and they look good in spots and everything else, and they step up for a game or two, but they can't keep it up. Korkmaz, you see, Korkmaz looks nowhere near the same player without Embiid out there. Even guys like Niang, I like Niang and I like Korkmaz, but you stretch them thin when you have to use them more than what you really intended to use them for. You don't have an Embiid in there. Maxey balled out. He VanVleet lit us up, but Maxey balled out and Maxey did his thing. And again, Paul Reed on defense, I like Paul Reed's defensive energy, but offensively, he's not doing it. So, but that being said, Tobi had a first night back from the COVID protocol. He had a decent night, 19, 7 and 7, shot like around 50%. He had 4 turnovers in the first half, none in the second half, but this is a tough one. This is why. That's what I'm saying. See, we can't. I'll let everybody else say what they need to say on the opening, then I'll go in. What y'all got?
Okay.
All right. This is why you have a scout team. Every NBA team they always have a scout team. Now, going in, everybody knew that the Raptors are one of the tallest teams in the league. They said the average starters is over, and granted, VanVleet is not even that tall, but their average starter is 6'7", and the bench comes in at 6'8". So knowing that, I would not have started Danny Green in this game, and I would have played my taller, athletic young bulls because they play a lot of tall, athletic young bulls. This is a team where you kind of got to match what the other team has, because what they did was they out hustled us, they out rebounded us, and they just out. They were just too athletic for us. And because of that, you experienced what you experienced tonight. And but with all that being said, we had a shot to win the game at the end. But again, the athletes came in there and they made big shots and made big plays. So that's why we lost, because I think we got killed by athleticism of the Raptors.
Is VanVleet athletic to you?
Nope.
He's a scorer.
Is VanVleet athletic to you at 6'1"? He's not tall and he's not athletic.
But he still
He's
killed
smart.
us.
He's smart and can shoot.
All right, but you said we got killed by a young athletic player.
Okay, he's the only one. I identified. I said besides VanVleet, I said the rest of them is a bunch of athletes. The average height is 6'7" of the starters.
I'm gonna tell you why we lost this game.
That don't got nothing to do with him. That's 6'7". And don't give me, and VanVleet killed us.
He did.
Tell me why we lost this game.
VanVleet is a player. I mean, he had 32. Maxey had 33. I'm gonna tell you why we lost this game. Because the organization, Morey included, wants to hold on to a player that doesn't want to be here.
That don't got nothing to do with this game.
No, let me get on. It does, and I'm gonna tell you why.
No, it don't.
I'm gonna tell you why. Y'all had y'all minutes. You could have brought in some players to help this team win now. We could have traded them for players that could be better than Korkmaz, that could be better than Shake, we could have traded them for Ben, and it could have helped us win these last 2 games. This is the problem we're going through right now, because Morey and Ben wants to have a tiff with each other. You're trying to prove a point with Ben Simmons. Get them out of here and get players in here that can help us right now. We could have players helping Maxey right now, help us win this game, and we could have players the other day, Tuesday, to help us win that game. Ben don't want to be here. Get players on the team that can help us win. Y'all keep screaming, I don't want to trade Ben for nobody. You're not going to get nobody. All these trades we had weren't nobody. You're going to have players around him, decent, very decent role players to help us win this game tonight. Stop holding on to people that don't want to be here and get players in here to help us win.
You saying that? Who do you don't know for sure? Everybody, every time we talked about it was rumors about that we were supposed to get that they offered us Wiggins and this, that, and other for Ben. Golden State came out and said no, they didn't. Golden State said they did.
They never came out and said
yes, they did. Golden State said they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
Came out and dude got fined for saying something about having Ben Simmons on his team with what's his name. So he never came out and said no. He never came out and said those were false. Never said that.
We keep talking about this. This is my whole thing. We talk about all the trade rumors. Now, like certain stuff, if it was a matter, I agree. Like with certain stuff, like when we talk about Jaylen Brown and then Morey go out and give this outrageous thing, but we don't know if Jaylen Brown was even available. We just know that the Celtics wanted Ben. We just know that we hear that these other teams wanted Ben. We don't know what they was available for. And I get it. I agree. I would love to trade him for somebody that I think is going to help us right now. But I don't know what was offered out there. And I think no matter what, we still could win these games. We still could have won these games. Put it this way. And everybody's saying that the Sixers is trash now. We're missing Embiid. We're missing it. It's the reason why he was an MVP candidate. This is what I was trying to tell you on the last couple games when people were sitting there talking about something. Oh, you sound like a downer, Wayne. You hating, Wayne. We good. We look good. You're going to keep losing games like this when you don't have your superstar. This is what happens. And this is what happens when you have role players like that.
That's not true. You can win.
It is true.
No, can we go back to wait, let me get back in. Let me get back in. This kind of what happened. This game happened last game. For some reason, our wings decide to collapse on the person that's driving, and we keep getting killed on a baseline 3-point shot. It happened several times the last game, and it killed us this game when I believe it was Korkmaz came in, and then the young boy hit the baseline 3-point shot that put him up by 3. And then VanVleet came in with the nail in the coffin and hit another 3-pointer. But we got to stop helping out on those ends. Stay with your man. I mean, if you get beat one-on-one in the middle, that's fine. Or let the guards collapse. But we keep getting killed on the sides. Every game, the last 2 games, we lost those games specifically because they collapsing and then they kicking out. They know they going to kick it right over.
You know why they do that? Because you don't have your superstar center in the middle that's athletic, and you don't have Maxey. And you don't have Maxey. Like Maxey? Who said that? Somebody just a statistic. Like he just said, we miss Maxey, and we have our 2 best defenders not in the game. I mean, Matisse, my fault. We have our 2 best defenders that are not in there. And the team is still playing scrappy, but it makes a big difference if Embiid is not in that middle. Drummond plays decent, but he does not have the range that Embiid has.
He don't. Yeah, too many. I agree. Who said too many second chances? Absolutely. They was going to fill so many second chances, but we still could have players in here.
Mr. Wing
games, man. We still could have some decent players to help us win, to help us make that run. Morey is not pulling the trigger because he said he wants a star. He's not getting a star for a metal piece. Let's throw it out the window. But
I mean, that being said,
you know what? Hats off to Maxey though. I gotta give him his props.
Oh yeah,
I told y'all this year
balled.
Let me back up a little bit. I told y'all this year was gonna be about the growth of Maxey. So what I want to see. All right, Max. This is what I want to see from Maxey, right? All right, you understand? You go in the game. You say you got 32 games in a row, but we still lost, right? What can you do to help this team win? Besides getting 30, he had 5 assists. Maybe he got it up to 6 or 7, or he got to get 38. I don't know. Maybe never even 38.
Or just maybe stop VanVleet once or twice.
You can do that. But if he getting 30 and we losing, we got to figure out. He got to figure out a little something he can do to help this team win. Maybe help get Drummond a little more involved in the game. You know what I mean? Give him some easy buckets, some oops and stuff like that. Some things like that. Maybe Doc can help draw some plays. So there's some other things we got to do when Joel Embiid is not on the floor to help us win this game. You don't know how long he's going to be missing for.
Yeah, because the way he's not going to come back. You know, he probably won't be back till like All-Star game. The boy Joel on it. When he get hurt, he get hurt. But now listen. This is a 3-game skid, and the Wizards are still winning. Chicago's still winning. I think they only have 1 loss. They got 3 losses, but now we're on our 5th loss.
Yeah, I like OG. I like OG from Toronto. That's what I'm saying. These are nice players. He's not a superstar, but I guarantee we had somebody like him in place of Ben. We could have probably won them 2 games. This is what I'm saying. It's still nice players out there that Morey can get for Ben, but instead he's looking for a superstar. And he said this already. He came out and said it. He's not trading Ben unless it's for a star. So
I agree with him, though. I
don't agree with him because he's.
I think it necessarily has to be a star, but it needs to be a player that's going to come in and
be a good player.
Put us over the top.
You can't get emotional off a loss. You still got to be mind. You got to keep in mind that again, December 15th is where the free agents that signed over the summer, they can be included in trade packages. So to make a decision right now in the middle of November is just not a good look. You're going to do it. You're going to do it after December 15th.
And see, that's my whole thing. Again, I get it. It's frustrating. That's why I was frustrated the first 2. I get frustrated at games like this because if it's a game that's winnable, when it's dumb stuff that we do, like when we do dumb stuff down the end that make us lose games, that's why I get ticked off at that type stuff. Because you do have other games where, like you just seen, we was out man down the stretch. They just it looked like I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was Maxey like turtled up a little bit or if he was tired and they just put that extra effort onto him. But like that last possession, he had the ball. As soon as he gave the ball to Korkmaz, I said, we lost.
Yeah,
that was bad. Korkmaz gives it to Drummond. Like, what is that?
Yeah. And then Drummond tries to score.
Yes. Well, he had to because the shot clock was down there. Maxey had the ball all that time. It should have been Maxey to go one-on-one and take somebody.
Yeah, Maxey should have kept
the ball. Or Seth should have been taking that shot at that point. Not Korkmaz and not Drummond.
Like Korkmaz shot 2 for 18 last game. Today he was 3 of 11. Shot less than 20-something%. He just less than 30% today. I mean, he's back. He's back. Every time you start putting favorable ball.
But you saying that, I think the difference is, a big difference with this team is built around Embiid. It's built around having this big man in the middle that everybody got to work hard to try to stop. And it leaves for wide open shots for other guys and easier scores for other guys. Seth Curry gets a lot more open shots if Embiid is in there. Korkmaz get more open shots if Embiid is in there. Tobias gets easier shots if Embiid is in there. So when he's not in there, it's not as easy. And that being said, these guys should now. Tobias ain't been in the last couple games, so I can't put that as much on him. But this is Maxey stepped up. Other guys got to step up too. When your superstar is not in the game, other players have to step up. And the other guys, instead of stepping up, they show how much they depend on Embiid, and they couldn't.
I would like to have seen a young boy.
Embiid plays 60 games a year, so it's 20 to 25 games that we got to try to figure out how to win without it. So it is ways you can win. You have to win those games in order to get a good spot. So did Matisse Thybulle, did we miss his defense? Probably. We could have used his defense. That would have helped a lot. So maybe when we get them back, we'll look a little better. But I still think we got to look to make this team a little better. Even with Embiid here, I think we should still look to try to make this team a little better to get over that hump.
Well, that's just like the guy we like, Niang. He doesn't look as good without Embiid in there. Niang's stats ain't that great.
You just see him last game?
What the one game? I've seen. Look at his last 4 games. Look at his stats for the last 4 games. Niang's stats, and he's been getting cooked on defense. And I like Niang. I like him, but I think that he misses. When you have any team, if you have a superstar, especially if they're MVP caliber player and they're not playing, it affects.
Was it the back-to-back? Because Niang, he only played 20 minutes. What's his average? Was it from the back-to-back or something? Is that why he only played 20 minutes?
Today wasn't a back-to-back.
See, I would have flipped. Shake only had 17 minutes, whereas Korkmaz played 27. I would have actually flipped that.
Niang played less minutes. The last few games, he shot 3 for 8. I mean, this game, it wasn't great. It was, but like Tim said about the athletic players, they cause a problem for a player like Niang, in my opinion. Milwaukee, he shot 7 for 14. That was nice. 7 for 14, 21. 6 for 15 against New York. Not that
That's
great.
not bad.
3 for 10 against Chicago. 6 for 15.
And that was three for 10.
That's almost 30%
right?
shoot. That's like 35% shooting.
Wasn't that with Bede?
But that's like 35% shooting. Is that good?
I asked you a question because you said Bede made him better. So
he did make him
best game. He actually had his best game against Milwaukee without Joel Embiid in the lineup.
I guess 7 for 14. I mean, he had a similar game back in Portland again with 7 for 16. He shot 6 for 12 against Chicago with Embiid, scored 18. I mean, listen, we like Niang, but it's certain dudes like sometimes he get limitations. Yeah, exactly. He has limitations. I like him, but he has limitations.
Well, I still think this is a game. I believe this is probably the game that we miss Ben most, because I think this would have been an opportunity for him to stick VanVleet to be on.
He wouldn't have stuck VanVleet.
He's done it before. Especially if you go back to that.
Stop. Listen.
If you go back to that playoff series against
with
Toronto,
Ben Simmons, we need Ben Simmons.
He had his worst shooting game.
This is a game we could have used Thibault.
Thibault, or we need
Ben's
both
not
our
coming
defensive
back.
Stoppers. We missed both of them. We missed
not
both
coming
of them.
back.
First of all, we're not missing Ben because Ben doesn't want to be here. Anytime you're talking about the team questioning your mental stuff is making your mental stuff worse, I'm done, bro. Like, it ain't even no need to even cape for him being anywhere near this team.
I'm not caping. I'm saying we missed tall defenders today. We didn't have it with Ben, and we didn't have it.
I can go with the part that we could have used another tall defender, but guess what? But then also, if you have Ben Simmons in this game, is Tyrese Maxey going off for 33? No, because Ben Simmons is going to be holding the ball. All those fast breaks when Tyrese Maxey was grabbing and attacking, Ben Simmons is going to be running down there, running into the lane, and kicking it back out, waiting for Maxey to shoot a three.
That's not true. You can't say that.
Why? That's his MO. That's his MO.
So that I guess then you could say the same thing if B was there, Maxey wouldn't have got off, right? Because
why not? Y'all told me B spent too much time at the 3-point line, right? B stay outside, right? So that don't open up the middle for Maxey.
The way Doc offense runs, it's enough. It's a fast paced offense. So everybody.
So if they're on a fast break, who's more likely to be in Maxey's way on a fast break, Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid?
Joel Embiid.
How? Joel Embiid is going to be down there going for the rebound or going for a block. Maxey's going to be down the court.
Joel's going to be
Ben
trailing.
Simmons is the dude that needs the ball.
Joel will probably be trailing the play anyway and not even in the frame.
Okay.
Sorry. I would like to see now with this emergence of Maxey, does it change things for Joel? Do we have to start running some set plays for Maxey now? Because I don't think there's really any set plays for Maxey in the playbook.
I think it should be Maxey and B running pick and rolls all day long in the half court set, in my opinion.
If his jump shot, if it start getting wet, like VanVleet, that mid range game it's going to be a wreck. Because
his mid range is nice.
I don't think he'll ever be as good 3-point shooter as VanVleet, but he's actually feeling real comfortable taking the three, Maxey. You see it from game to game. He's pulling the trigger. He used to hesitate a lot. He's really starting to pull that trigger.
I just wish
but his mid-range is even like, listen, this is my thing. You have Embiid that can shoot a mid-range shot. Maxey can shoot mid-range. You can run pick and rolls or pick and pops with Embiid and Maxey all day. And then if people trying to come in that middle and they collapse on that to try to shut that down, then you have your shooters outside. So I think that if Doc is smart, which I'm hoping that he is, I would incorporate pick and rolls with Embiid and Maxey.
So is he officially untradeable?
Yes. Why
agree.
Is Doc so in love with Korkmaz though? Why does he get so much? He get 27 minutes. Milton got 17. Milton actually had a better game. 5 for 6, 12 points.
I just said that.
So why was Shake only 5 for 6? Shake plays scared sometimes to me though.
But what's the level of fear? Like even against Milwaukee, Korkmaz played 45 minutes. What is the level of fear that Doc has with Korkmaz? Starting to remind me of Brett Brown.
Because he can get a shot off.
Brett Brown didn't have a love affair with Korkmaz.
What Doc said about Korkmaz is he said he loves the fact that he can get a shot off at any point. Like It doesn't matter. He said even if he's not open, he said he's gonna still get that shot.
And that's why he shot 2 for 18 or whatever it was, because he wasn't open and was shoot. And I don't agree with that. I think Cork. Now I will give Cork this. His release is way fast, because my big knock on him early in the years, I was like, his release, I was like, he can shoot at a nice percentage, but his release was super slow. And when you played against athletic teams, you couldn't get that shot up. His shot release has actually gotten way faster, maybe even twice as fast. But that being said, he still needs certain space. And Toronto, Cork is 6'7", so he uses size advantage against other guards in certain situations. Toronto is an athletic team, and they're long, and they're tall, so he's not getting those good looks against teams like them, or even Milwaukee. They have athletic type defensive wing players. You're not getting those good looks against those type teams.
Yeah. But right now, as far as Maxey though, he might be our closer. He might have to be the one that, because you can't run it through Embiid anymore. We know that. You just down the stretch, you can't run it through Embiid. Maxey just got to learn to be selfish. And Doc said this early in the year. He said he wanted him to be like Rondo. He said, because Rondo was playing his second year, he's playing with all these superstars. He said, tell them no. He said, tell them no. And Maxey might have to do the same thing. He might have to say no to the stars on the team, to Tobias and to Embiid. He got like, no, keep it and just take that shot.
That's what I want to see. But this is the year of his growth. So I think we're gonna have to eat slowly. He'll start asserting himself. Even you seen him go in the end a couple of times. We hit 4 or 6 buckets in a row. So they know he can do it.
He sparked us. He's the one that sparked us.
What you want to see next is the team getting confident and want him to take the shot. Now, will that happen between him and Joel? Is for the future to decide. But that's the next step.
And listen, I know everybody upset. We lost 3 straight. I get it. But we still been working shorthanded, and our superstar is not playing. I still feel as though when Embiid comes back, at this team full strength can beat anybody in the NBA, in my opinion. It can beat or compete with anybody in the NBA full strength.
I agree. The problem is just getting behind the ball too long. You know what I mean? Getting behind the 8 ball so far, trying to dig itself out the hole. What I did.
Well, as long as they make the play, you know how it is. As long as you make the playoffs, once you make the playoffs, is even though the Sixers do play way better at home, though, I do agree with that.
Then right, that's about to say then it's home field advantage. Then it's
yeah.
So then it's who you match up against, and we might get 2 tough back-to-back teams to play. So instead of that easy cakewalk like we should have had last year.
No, listen, that's the rule. It is a jump ball. Because you can't, just because they're talking about when Drummond got the block and we won the challenge. You can't just award the ball to the Sixers, because if it's a block shot, you don't know who's going to get that ball. So you have to jump it up. You can't just say, "Oh, you got the block. It's your ball." That's not how it works. This is not street ball. The rules are when they won that challenge, it's like, okay, now we got to jump it up to see who gets the ball. That was the proper call. That's the rules.
Lionel Robinson. Lionel. We do got a road trip without a beat. And it can get, this is my thing about having, this is my point about having better players in here to help this team win now. Because it can get real ugly. Fast.
Yeah, it can.
Fast. Phil,
I just told you why they called it jump ball. That's a jump ball call on the challenge. That's a jump ball.
Forget the jump ball. We got a tough streak coming up without Joel, and it can get ugly fast.
Yeah. We can
be at 500. We can be under 500.
Wait, let me ask you something. Did y'all see the picture that somebody did to me? And they were saying about they said they asked they was like the Sixers, what they say, whoever says the Sixers can win without Ben Simmons is sick. And then they showed Joel Embiid in the bed with all the hoses and stuff in his nose. But is that an extra? Is Joel like on a respirator or whatever? Only reason I asked that, because that's like Tobias. From what I was hearing when Bede first got sick, they were saying Bede is looking as bad as Tobi was. So I'm thinking like Tobi wasn't going to be back for like another week. And then next thing you know, he's in the lineup tonight. So
yeah, he said he just spoke to the media. He said 2 days ago he was able to get 2 straight negative tests. So he said if he was semi-okay, he was going to go because he was down all these bodies. So he wasn't able to practice or anything. He pretty much got healthy and then just
so he pretty much saying he really wasn't 100%, but he played for the team.
And I think, and the way he played tonight, I admire that. If he wasn't even fully over everything, I thought he had a decent game.
Yeah, he might have hurt us more than he helped us.
How you think if he wasn't in there, who would you have rather had in there with the stats he had?
I would like to see Paul Reed get more minutes because
Paul Reed wasn't going to score like
that. Hold on, you talking about that?
Toronto played young bulls. I'm telling you, that would have been a nice young bull game.
4 turnovers.
He had the 4 turnovers in the first half. Yes.
Yeah, do a -9 plus. Okay, all right.
So with negative, what you talking about? Plus minus?
Yeah.
What's Maxey's plus minus?
Same as his, but he gave us
exactly. So that's why I'm not going off the plus minus because Maxey had a great game, so I'm not going off that plus minus. But Tobi was off from 3, but he had 7 assists, 7 rebounds, 19 points, shooting almost 50%. I'm not knocking Tobi for his performance tonight.
So let me ask y'all: if we what is this, a 4 or 5 game road trip going on? I gotta look at the schedule.
It's 6.
It's a 6.
I want to know. Wait, no, I got a question. Remember a couple nights, Seth Curry probably the best player on the team. Seth Curry, the closer. Where was Seth?
Yeah, ankle issues.
Oh, okay, yeah, the slight ankle injury that the reason why he didn't play last game when they could have really used him. But I like Seth, but everybody was sitting up here talking about how Seth was the best player. He's the closer. He handles. That's what I'm saying. We can't get caught up in the game by game basis. We got to look at as a collective what players are doing.
All right, let me tell you this. This is what we got. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Pacers, Jazz, Nuggets, Blazers, Kings, and Warriors. 1, 2, 3,
Blazers
4,
and Kings
5,
should
6.
be a win regardless. But I think B should be back by the time we get to the Warriors.
How many games? I don't know. How many games Tobi missed?
What Tobi missed, like 5 games?
Yeah, he was out 5 games.
He didn't already miss 3. He already missed 3.
He missed 3 or 2.
He missed Monday. Tuesday.
This was his 3rd. Right?
Back-to-backs we had a back-to-back on Monday and Tuesday. He probably missed another 6 games.
Yeah. You another 6?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you put the B factor in.
Yeah.
I don't be honest with you. I'm thinking he misses the entire road trip. Because was he fly out from meet the team?
If he tests positive, I don't see him. If he tests negative, if he goes and tests negative, I don't think it's any way, especially if we're struggling, I don't think it's any way Embiid doesn't play.
Yeah, Brandon said you hate Seth.
I don't hate Seth.
We get is against the Timberwolves on November 27th. You heard it here first.
You tripping? I don't hate Seth. My whole thing is I'm just saying when everybody was hyping up and talking about like Seth Curry, we was talking about Seth like he was Steph. And the point that I was making at the time was that's a 1 game, not one, even if it's just a couple games. Like don't you automatically say he's the best player on the team. He's the 2nd best player on the team. Like you got to look at a collective of what dudes is doing. Like you see now Maxey, I hope this is who Maxey is from here on out. Like I'm not saying he got to score 30 a game and nothing like that, but the aggressiveness, the way he attacks the basket, the confidence he has in that pull up, the way he's scrapping on defense, like he really is, like Ethan said, you see the growth in his game. And this is what I was hoping to see early on, but then it was like a couple of them games it looked like he was a little bit shook, but it might have been, we don't know if that was Doc pulling him back or not. But now the Sixers then gave him the vote of confidence. The Sixers said that he's untradeable. You know what I'm saying? And you see the confidence in his game. So I'm hoping this is what Maxey is from here on out.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Then it'd be nice for more to give him some help.
So what y'all see is going? 3-6? 3-3, I mean?
I think we go 2-4.
I got to see who else come back. If Thibault comes back, B come back, when and if they come back.
If Thibault comes back, we'll win.
I also think even Tobi being back, I think makes a difference.
In the game, we can win. That is winnable.
I mean, listen, the past 3 games was winnable. It was honestly like one of those games, didn't 1 or 2 of those games we played with like 8 people or something like that. So, and the back-to-back. And that's not to make excuses, but I mean, this is just a tough stretch. This week was a tough week to be without your superstar. And even without Tobias for a couple games, and then
now, what's our record right now?
what is it?
8-5.
8-4, 8-4, 8-5.
8-5.
So if we get to 500, does Morey get desperate?
I don't think we get to 500.
No.
I don't think that he does.
There's no need to get this desperate. It's still early in the season.
Now, if we were losing like that and Embiid and Tobias and everybody was playing and we was losing like that, then you might get desperate. But I honestly think that it's a matter of they looking at the overall long haul and it's like, okay, we weathering the storm right now.
Yep.
All right, things are starting to round out a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
We about 12, 13 games in for everybody. Wizards are still holding on to that number 1 seed. Bulls are number 2, who we beat twice. Nets are 3, Heat's 4, Sixers 5, what I thought they would be.
The Heat's only 4?
Yeah, Heat's 4, Sixers 5.
What, they lost a couple games this week?
They lost the Lakers last night.
Bucks is actually 9.
They lost the Lakers in overtime.
7. Raptors 8.
Jimmy got hurt.
9th. Celtics are 11.
I still think it's some jockeying in that stuff. I don't think Milwaukee's going to be as bad because Milwaukee's they didn't have when we played Milwaukee. They didn't have they didn't have Lopez and they didn't have Middleton. So Milwaukee's playing without players too. So I think Milwaukee's not going to be as bad as they have been to start the season off. Miami though, I think Miami is what they are. So we going to see when these other teams start getting better. And getting their players back, we want to see what Miami is against them. Them guys.
Wing, Isaiah Joe got COVID too. That's why he's not playing.
Yeah, he should be back soon, though. I would think. So I want.
That's what I'm saying.
I want Maxey. I mean, I want Matisse back. Though. I think that'll help a little bit.
Yeah, Matisse should be back.
Matisse more than Joe, because Joe don't really get that much burn yet. He got to play himself into the rotation. Yeah. He hasn't played himself into the rotation yet.
Well, if Kork keeps shooting the way that he's shooting, Joe might go ahead and slide right in that spot.
Not the way Don giving Kork all these minutes.
Yeah, I know.
And you got to give it up to the Raptors. The Raptors play a very good team defensively. They play good defense, and that was on display tonight because they was able to rotate on it. We wasn't getting a lot of open 3-pointers.
That speaks a lot. That speaks of volumes of Maxey because he diced him for 33.
Oh yeah, listen, Maxey could put up point. Maxey is on. I know this is thinking high. I think what Maxey's ceiling is. Not saying he's necessarily going to make it. I think Ja Morant is Maxey's ceiling. I think that's the type of player, that style. Morant's not a shooter. Morant attacks the basket. He's a smart player, fast player, everything else. I'm not saying Maxey is Morant, but I'm saying
comment if I ever heard one. In my
how?
Life.
If I just said if we said we want to see him get better.
Morant level.
Did I say he was on his level? I said that will be his ceiling, in my opinion. So how was that? How was that? How how's that?
I don't see him having.
I think that's more logical than saying Ben Simmons was going to be LeBron.
Yo, even though you still saying Maxey, you don't know what's supposed to be.
It ain't the same.
Listen. I like Maxey, nice player. I don't see Ja Morant.
Ja Morant, what do you see that he doesn't have?
First of all, he's not as athletic or as explosive as Morant.
He's not as athletic like in dunking, but he gets to the basket. He's just as quick. And Maxey has that same shift gears, like where you're going and then you can stop. Stop.
No, he don't. No, he don't.
Yes, he do. That's how he gets past, dude.
He's not.
Yes, he does.
Listen, he's not as explosive as that kid, man. Stop. Maxey's a nice player.
Explosive. Yo, that boy Scotty
Morant.
Barnes, though, somebody mentioned him in the
levels. Morant is explosive like he rose when he first came in the league.
I didn't say he was. Maxey? I didn't say he's on his level. I said that's what I see his ceiling as being, that style of player, that type of player being like that. I think Ja Morant is going to get better. I'm talking about I could see him at his peak getting to where Ja Morant is now. I think Ja Morant is going to get better over time.
I'm not putting no limits on Maxey. I could see him. I'm not.
I don't think that Ja Morant has reached his ceiling yet, but I think what he's playing right now is what Maxey could try to get to.
I don't. But y'all trying to say that y'all putting a ceiling on Maxey. I don't see a ceiling on Maxey.
Everybody has a ceiling,
but you're putting a ceiling as far as being as good as Ja Morant. I don't see that. I see he can be better. I can see he can get better.
What do you see his ceiling being?
Me?
No, I'm talking about Tim. He said he's talking about some. He
No,
feel like I disrespected him saying that.
no, you saying he
John
maxes
Morant.
out at John Morant, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't see him maxing out as being John Morant.
Well, what do you think could be? What do you think his
John Morant
potential?
don't even have a real jump shot like that, and Maxey has potential to get a nice jumper. You see, he's working on it.
But Maxey also can't dunk on people like John Morant. That's the part Ethan talking about. That explosiveness. Maxey can get to the basket and get those layups up and stuff like that. But Maxey's not getting up and dunking on people.
Neither was AI. Neither was.
Why wasn't? Why wasn't he? When AI first came in college, and when AI first came in, he was catching bodies. But then he didn't need.
But Maxey is that Maxey know how. Maxey can dunk. We're not saying he can't dunk, but I'm just saying he don't need the dunk to be explosive. Just like Steph Curry. And Steph Curry don't need the dunk to be explosive. They're very explosive.
AI was a freaking name.
Not explosive at all. Steph Curry is not explosive. Bro.
I'm saying I meant to say Steph. That's why I said Steph. Then I said Steph.
I agree. Email. He do need to get in the weight room. That's another honestly, I even think Shake wouldn't be so bad if he put even more. They said he put muscle on. He still plays. If Maxey's still young. What Maxey like 21 now? He just turned 21. He's still a young boy. You know, you can still put that muscle on and still develop. That's why I say until guys get to about 24, 25, I think that they still, sometimes we forget these boys as young boys. So he still can grow and muscle and everything else. So Maxey still has potential to grow. So, and he looked like he's willing to put the work in.
I could see you comparing Maxey to the young boy from OKC over John Morant.
Hey, I hit that light.
Hey, Brandon, I just said I hope this is what Maxey is. I'm not saying Maxey is this, Maxey's going to be that. I'm telling you what I hope to see him turn into. I hope to see him develop into. We're not saying that he's John Morant now. I'm not saying he's John Morant now. I'm not saying he's all-time great or nothing now. I'm saying though he's showing signs and he's showing growth in certain things. And so I do see him getting better. And that's more encouraging than seeing somebody that hasn't gotten better for 4 or 5 years. You see somebody that's in his second year showing huge steps into how he's showing that he can control the offense. He can control the team as long as he gets that. He looks like he's getting better to me.
Yeah.
Maxey can be. I look at him as like a Terry Rozier.
See, y'all really.
Terry Rozier more like a 3-and-D type guy.
Terry Rozier is score. He balled.
He had 3-and-D, shoot threes.
He can get to the basket too.
Max is a player. All right, so the Sixers, I do believe we got our hustle, our rebound, and that's why we lost the game. And our defense, I'm telling you, the strategy with these teams now, they're going to keep kicking it out to the wing, and that's how we getting killed. That's how they're killing us. They really did it the last game when we played the Bucks. Bobby Porter Jr. and the other bull, they were just killing us. They would just dribble, drive, and dish out. Stay home. If one thing I could say for the Sixers, if you want to win, just stay home. Just stay home with your man, and then let whoever has that person in the middle just do your best. That's how we lost. But anyway, we're gonna wrap this joint up.
I want to end with this. I want to end on this note. Somebody's gonna have to give. You seen what Ben Simmons? You seen what Clutch Sports came out and said about Ben Simmons? That the Sixers organization is actually making his mental thing worse, his mental situation worse because they're not supporting him. Instead, they're trying to force him to play. I told y'all, Ben Simmons will never play for this team again. Now, somebody has to give, and it's going to have to be Morey in order to make the team better. It has to be about the team, about the Sixers. It's not about Ben. It's not about forcing Ben to play. It's not about making a point. It's about getting people in there that want to be here and make this team better. Please do that, Morey.
I think that that's what he wants to do.
Just give it time. Wait till after December. Just gotta be patient, and then you trade him. I don't see what's the rush. What are you rushing for?
Hey, Mr. Wayne, why you make me and delete her We wanted to win too. We wanted to win bad too. Man. Uh, Mr. Wing made a delete a comment. I want to win this game bad too. I agree.
I wanted to win the last three, and that's the part. And I think this is the part that bothered me. Like even with the first two, and like I was being told that I was being too rough on the Sixers. We was undermanned. It was a good win. It was a good game. We play. I don't care about all those. Like yeah, that's nice to have those moral victories, but you have to still be able to seal the deal at times like that. And we had 3 straight games where they were winnable, and just something ain't click right. Somebody didn't step up and make the right play at the right time or something like that.
Yeah.
I agree. You gotta get the right player, but I can keep going on. I'll let him shut it down.
All right. Sixers lose. We back Saturday playing the Indiana Pacers. We should be able to beat the Pacers.
We should have been able to beat Toronto.
That's true. But
we should have been able to beat Milwaukee.
That's true.
We need another player. Get a player in here. Get a player in here for back.
All right. So we catch y'all Saturday. We be here. We are. Next week is going to be a grind because the games don't start till 10 o'clock. So I'll be here.
We'll see who's up.
I'll be here.
You already know I put in that work.
All right. Don't forget to listen. Don't forget to like. Hit that like button while y'all still here. While y'all here right now, hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. And we catch you on our next video. We out.
Peace.
Later.